So what may or may not be apparent by my place here is that I kind of have an obsession with furniture, chairs in particular, and like above me, art. So today's an exciting day because it is an auction close day. So online, I use this website called Max Sold and a few other ones to kind of find old estate sales, people who are kind of resellers of furniture and art and all kinds of stuff. And bid on stuff online because there's a really nice auction with some really amazing pieces, a couple of Kai Christiansen armchairs, which I'm currently bidding on, a couple other cool pieces, some lamps and stuff that I think would be not just a good fit for potentially my place and then possibly reselling on my kind of side hustle Fernie, but then also to potentially have and hold on to furnish the cottage property once that is ready to go. Bidding reasonable prices. Some of the stuff is a little jacked up there, in particular the two Kai Christiansen armchairs. I'm only winning one of them right now at a price of, let me see, $1,250 before tax and the bidding platforms cut. So that one's up there. However, they're in really good condition based on what I can tell. And I think although they do have the original cushions on them right now, and they're the paper knife chairs, the actual wood is in really good condition based on the photos. So we'll see. We'll try to find out some more information on all the pieces once we figure out what I'm gonna win. Go pick them up on the weekend in a couple of days here. So there's also like a Mart Stam chair, which is like, you probably will recognize it. I'll throw photos of kind of the things I'm looking at up on screen too to get an idea, but it's kind of a little black leather chrome chair. You probably would recognize it if you've seen any kind of mid-century modern furniture design videos or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I've also gone to this particular seller a few times before. The quality has been a little hit or miss. I'm trying to think the last thing. I actually think I picked up this coffee table here from the same reseller. If it happens to be the same person, just outside of Toronto here in Mississauga. So hopefully the photos hold up and we get some big wins here. But that's part of the excitement, what I like about doing these auctions and finding really cool pieces that sometimes you kind of hit the lottery and get a really good price on something that is a really, really cool piece. And sometimes you just kind of get junk. But a quick update on the bidding because going back and forth on a couple of the pieces, including the set of the pair of paper knife chairs. It's up to $1,350 now. I'm winning one of them, not the other. One of my strategies for this one was to kind of go back and forth on prioritizing just one of the pieces. I'm assuming that I think there's two other bidders. I'm assuming that everyone bidding on these wants the set, the pair of them. But I'm trying to just go up on one to see essentially what the cutoff will be for one of the other bidders. And it might go a lot higher than where we're at now. I gotta make a decision on how much I'm willing to actually pay for these things. The comps on them are pretty insane depending on the quality. And of course that's gonna be a toss up until I can actually see it in person. If I win, if I don't win. But on some of the other comps that I've seen online, depending on the quality, both of the actual construction, the wood and whatnot, but then also the upholstery, if they're in good shape, could, for the pair of them, go upwards of $7,500 or more if they're in really good shape. We're talking 10 grand plus for the set there. So got some decisions to make. And we also have, so there's a few hours remaining on this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go. There are a couple of teak side tables. Those ones can be flipped sometimes for a decent price depending on the quality again. I'm a little iffy on some of the, on a couple of them. But one thing I am excited about is there is this mid-century lamp that I think I have a pair of already. So it'd be nice to actually kind of get a third. So they're actually kind of my bedside. Just about game time for the auction here, which means the first items that I'm looking at are going to close in about 20 minutes. First thing that we got to do, of course, is we got to remove the rosewood leather combo chair there, and bring in our good luck charm paperclip stool so we can post up in front of the computer and be ready to action some of this stuff. The Kai Kristiansen paper knife chairs are steadily increasing. I think there's only one buyer left at this point. About 20 minutes left on those two chairs. We're up to $1,400 on both of the chairs, so a little bit of movement. Now, when we're talking about the fees in those as well, it's gonna be about $1,650 all in per chair, which is fairly hefty. The only thing that I'd be nervous about when it comes to those pieces is trying to find the right buyer if they're not a perfect fit for me to keep. Because at that point, you know, you're in it for almost $4,000, and who knows what kind of movement is gonna happen in the next 20 minutes or so. Watching the kind of teak table lamp, which is matching still the ones in my bedroom here. It's $50.69 right now. I'm gonna put, I'd pay $65 for it, I think. With fees in, that comes to $75. I think that's a fair price. So I'll throw a bid down on that. But other than that, we're just gonna, so the first item is actually gonna close in about 15 minutes. So we're gonna keep an eye on stuff and hopefully we come away with some good wins. And the problem, I think, with an auction that has all kinds of good stuff, you see these nice teak dining chairs, a good amount of art. There's some larger items in this one, including this. So the vintage, mid-century modern queen size teak bed frame. So this thing is kind of a hefty item. And when you get an item like this at an auction with someone bidding a decent amount, $700 or something like this is a pretty decent amount, because not a lot of people want to haul it away, which is the problem for an auction like this, I find, is that if someone is already gonna basically put in the effort to come and pick up an item like this, it's likely that they're kind of a professional, you know, furniture shop. Likely somebody's going to show up with a van and have a lot of space for other items, other big items as well. You know, it's logistically makes more sense for them to put, you know, $20 more to get the larger cube bin or whatever to be able to pick up this item, and some of the other ones, you know, their costs are kind of sunk into that. So things are heating up. Currently doing a little defense on this Mart Stam chair, which is the leather and chrome one. There's 2 minutes left, as you can see, and I'm trying to keep it in mind. About 1 minute ago it was $90, now we're up to $175. Essentially, when a bid is placed within that last 2 minutes, it'll extend the clock and people can continue to bid on it. So I'm winning it right now with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. So as we count down here, we'll see if someone else places a bid within that time period to try to extend the bidding a little bit, or in 2 minutes, if no one else places another bid, I'll lock it in. I think it's a good price at $175. You know, looking at comps across Etsy and different furniture dealers, and then of course, like if you just want to buy one that's a kind of a knockoff off of Wayfair, it's going to cost you anywhere from, you know, $375 to $900. Now, you gotta watch, you're not 100% sure what the condition's gonna be like, especially because it is leather. If there is some age on that structurally, and that might not be amazing. Currently from the photos, it looks pretty good. 3, 2, 1. Checking, and any more bids going in? Closed. So at least we're gonna be picking up on the weekend this Mart Stam chair. Super excited about this one. I think at that price, it might be one that I actually hang on to. And this is kind of the exciting part too. If anyone else has like dealt with online auctions, is like the last few minutes when prices can go all over the place. You need to practice a lot of restraint because you could easily just drop hundreds of dollars, especially if you're going head to head with someone who really wants something for personal reasons as opposed to reselling, and everyone just kind of goes for it. Luckily, I don't fall into that too often. But yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking with so many different lots open and so many different popular lots as well. Sometimes you can get away with some really good deals if there's, you know, maybe 1 or 2 good items in kind of, you know, an auction with 100. Not a lot of people or the bigger resellers want to go and pick up, you know, 1 piece. It's not going to be worth their time. So I don't know if you can see this, but the red, when that red comes up, that means another bid has been popping up on something I used to bid on. So technically I'm losing it, even though I'm not actively bidding on it. And one of the tips is I find with these auctions, a lot of the bidding actually happens in the last, say, 10 minutes or so. Sometimes in the last 2 minutes or so. 10 seconds. Am I gonna win this lamp? Let's see. And I think that's because, you know, a lot of people just don't know how many other bidders are gonna be involved. And they wanna wait and see how things are gonna shake out price-wise to know, you know, where they wanna place their budget and that kind of stuff. We have won this lamp as well, which is a good plus. A couple items, good items, and for the exact same lamps I paid over $100 per lamp the previous time, and now this one was only 65 bucks, so I'm gonna say that that's a win. So we might just be walking away with a couple of things here with the chair and the lamp, and then of course the paper knife chairs are still going off. This one's already up to over $2,000. And although I don't think I'm gonna bid on them anymore, I do like that this 69 cents is sticking around on the second one for $16.50. Those ones are seemingly going back and forth, bid for bid. I think the people who are bidding on those are probably just trying to wait the other person out to see if they're gonna continue on tonight. I think that pretty much wraps it up for me. But yeah, I'm excited to pick these things up on the weekend, so we'll check in then. All right, so we're a couple days later now. It's Sunday morning, pickup time for the auction. After I went through the payment and everything for setting up the pickup, it is the same place I've been to a couple of times before, which I said could be hit or miss. So we're gonna see how we fare with the 2 items. The Saturday morning road trip is maybe one of the nicer things about, you know, winning stuff in online auctions and tracking down cool items. I'm always a fan of a good road trip, especially when you got a little bit of time on the weekends. You know, we're in basically another lockdown here in Ontario, Canada, so it's nice to get out of the house. Okay, so just pulling up. Basically how this goes, you show up to a random house and or apartment building or something like that. You tell them your name, and then they, in COVID times at least, bring your items outside of the door, which is actually pretty nice as opposed to typically you gotta kind of run around the pickup location, from the basement to the office, all over the place depending on what you got, to find all of your stuff. So it's a little bit nicer these days. Okay, so I had to just stop to get some gas, and I also haven't washed my car since before, well, over a month, because we went to the cottage, which is a video on you can watch, click here. But then also been down and back to Ben's a few times, and basically my car's filthy. So we're getting that figured out. We're also gonna grab a coffee here and then do a quick little recap of, oh, this is not how you get in the drive. Oops. do a 3-point turn to get into a drive-through.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Please enter your code by touching the corresponding buttons. Touch it.
One. We're in the right spot? Okay, parked.
I think the premium wash is just louder.
On second look now, I think the lamp actually might be a perfect match. I think it's just a different shade on top.
So this actually might be one of the better finds that I'm super happy about, because if this is a good match, that'll be a huge win for me. Now the chair, on the underside, it is in a little bit worse condition than I thought it was gonna be, but overall I think the leather looks good. There's a little bit of rust on some of the points that can probably be cleaned up of the chrome here, but it's not bad. Let's see. I would say that the chair is just a little dirty, but in terms of structurally, it's good. Leather's looking like it's in good shape, and the chrome's not bad. Like I said, there are a couple spots of leather, a couple spots of rust, but overall not bad. Now we got to do the sit test in the middle of this gas station parking lot. Whew, that's nice. Got to give you a view. Getting used to the way people look at you when they pull up and you're sitting in a mid-century modern chair in the middle of a gas station parking lot. Spoiler alert, the kind of look that is not one of intrigue in Mississauga. It's more akin to confusion. So those are the items. I'm pretty happy with both of them actually. The lamp, we'll do a test when we get home to see how close of a match it is, but I think it is a pretty close match to the other two lamps that I have in my bedroom. Chair, also in pretty good shape. A couple of rust spots to clean up. And then overall, I think the work that needs to be done on that one is just to kind of clean up in general. There's a little bit of dirt on the back and a couple of things here and there that could use probably just a light scrub. Nice guy though, and this time we kind of chatted for a little bit longer than we typically do. And he was telling me about actually Max sold, and this might be actually a big plus for buyers, myself included, is that Max sold is now not letting sellers write essentially attributed to in the description of furniture and other pieces. So I'm not sure how he got away with attributing those chairs to Kai Kristiansen that went for so high. They ended up going for like fees in and everything, about I think just over $5,000. And then this chair, so it is, I believe, attributed to Mart Stam as the kind of classic cantilever armchair. However, he didn't write that on the notes, and I wonder if that's what made people not bid as high on it, because he was actually telling me about 6 months ago or 8 months ago or something like that, the same guy that I just picked up from ran an auction on Max Sold, and someone had purchased a whole heck of a lot of items, $12,000 worth of items, and then didn't pay the guy. And he was saying he was going back and forth with Max Sold on the day that guy actually came to pick it up. He just didn't want to pay for it all. And long story short, as part of that kind of snafu, this chair was one of the things that was in that big lot, $12,000 lot, or a bunch of lots that someone had purchased. So he didn't get to take it with him, and so the seller here was just telling me that he had sold this exact chair months ago for $375 is what the other person was going to pay for it, because they can't go for that high. However, I got it for $175. So, I mean, I'm gonna say that that's a win. That call it a $200 discount. And we'll see once I clean it up and get it into my place if it's a good fit or not. I think that it could be pretty interesting in 1 or 2 spots in my place, or like I said, kind of hold it, maybe keep it for the Cotty. I think that's probably where I'm going to end the video, because I am going to do an apartment tour of my apartment in Toronto. So that's when you'll see if these pieces are sticking around or what they look like in my space. So keep an eye out for that. Hit like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you want to correct my pronunciation of anyone's names, or if you have any questions about Maxold or anything like that. And yeah, subscribe if you want to stick around and watch more of our videos. My toxic trait is thinking that I could probably survive a car wash if I, like, just my body was in it, not my car. Are we done?